So, you're thinking about a career in finance? Then you've definitely heard of the CFA, the Chartered Financial Analyst designation. It's famous for being the gold standard, but what does it really take to earn it? In this explainer, we are breaking down the entire roadmap, from the huge rewards to the demanding reality of the journey. Let's dive right in. This is the first question, isn't it? It's the one every single person asks themselves before they start. I mean, it is a massive commitment of time, money, and, let's be honest, sanity. So before we get into the nuts and bolts, let's just tackle the big one head on. Is the reward actually worth the grind? Well, the short answer, a big, loud yes. That number you're looking at, $267,000, that is the average total compensation for CFA charter holders across the globe. It's a pretty clear signal from the market that this designation holds some serious weight. And yeah, the financial upside is undeniable. And that kind of salary isn't just for one specific job. Think of the CFA charter as a key that unlocks some of the most sought-after doors in the entire world of finance. Sure, portfolio management is the most common path. About a quarter of all charter holders go that route. But it also paves the way for careers in intense investment banking, deep dive research analysis, and strategic wealth management. It's basically your all-access pass to the industry. And this demand for charter holders is truly global. Just take a look at this quick snapshot. In the US, a senior charter holder is easily pulling in over $150,000. In a major hub like Singapore, you're looking at well over $100K. But what's really fascinating is a place like Dubai. Not only are the salaries competitive, but check this out, there's zero income tax. That means you keep every single dollar you earn. The opportunities are literally worldwide. Okay, so we've pretty much established the why. The rewards are obviously there. Now let's get into the what. What is the actual mission you'd be signing up for? Well, it's a journey, and it's structured across three very distinct levels. First, just a quick definition so we're all on the same page. The CFA charter is considered the absolute gold standard in the investment world. It's awarded by the CFA Institute, and it's recognized everywhere as the peak of professional excellence and, importantly, ethical standards in the business. The whole program is designed like a ladder. Level 1 is all about building your foundation. You gotta learn the core knowledge. Then, Level 2 challenges you to actually apply all that knowledge to real-world situations. And finally, Level 3, the big one, requires you to synthesize everything into complex portfolio management and wealth planning strategies. Each level built right on top of the one before it. Now, let's talk about something very practical, the cost. Earning the charter isn't just an investment of your time, it's a pretty significant financial commitment. So let's break down exactly what you should be budgeting for. All right, the biggest piece of the pie is the exam fees themselves. And here is your first pro tip, and it's a big one. Register early. Seriously, you can save over $300 per exam just by planning ahead. If you're strategic about it and you pass each level on your first try, the absolute baseline cost is just over $3,500. But, and this is a big but, the exam fees are just the beginning. You absolutely need an improved financial calculator. And while the third-party prep materials are technically optional, I'm telling you, they are highly recommended by pretty much everyone who has ever gone through this. And those can add a significant cost for each level. So let's add it all up. What's a realistic budget? Well, a conservative estimate, assuming you pass every single exam on the first shot, is around $5,600. A more realistic budget, the one that accounts for maybe needing one retake along the way, puts the total investment closer to $7,700. Okay, so beyond the money, there's an even more valuable resource you'll be spending, your time. And for most people, especially if you're already working, this is where the real challenge of the CFA program comes in. 1,000. You need to burn that number into your brain. The CFA Institute recommends at least 300 hours of study per level. To put that in perspective, if you study for 6 months for just one level, that's nearly 12 hours a week, every single week. It's a huge slice of your life. And this really is the key. You absolutely cannot cram for these exams. It's just not possible. Success comes from consistent, disciplined effort that's spread out over many, many months. It's all about building a sustainable study habit that actually fits into the rest of your life. So what does that look like on a calendar? For most working professionals, the whole journey from the day you start studying for level 1 to the day you actually earn the charter takes somewhere between 2.5 to 4 years. And that timeline accounts for the 6 months of study for each level, the exam windows, and yeah, the very real chance of needing to retake an exam. Okay, we've covered the reward, we've covered the costs in time and money, and we've covered the timeline. So now let's get to the most important part, the blueprint. How do you actually conquer this thing? First, we have to be realistic about how hard this is. These are the historical average pass rates. Look at that. Less than half of the people who sit for level 1 and level 2 actually pass. The rates to get a little better for level 3, but the hurdle is incredibly high at every single stage. Now let's string those pass rates together. When you do the math, a pretty startling picture emerges. Of all the candidates who start at level 1, only about 9%, 9, make it all the way through to earn the charter. That level of exclusivity is exactly why this designation is so respected and so valuable. And here is the most important thing to understand about the difficulty. Failure is part of the process. The data shows that most people who eventually earn their charter have failed at least one exam. The defining trait of a charter holder isn't genius, it is pure, unrelenting persistence. So what's the strategy? It's not magic, it's a proven plan. You have to start studying early. We're talking months in advance. You need to focus on active learning, like solving problems, not just passively reading. Take as many timed mock exams as you can to feel that real pressure. Get to know your financial calculator inside and out. And finally, whatever you do, do not neglect the ethics section. It's often the tiebreaker that decides whether you pass or fail. So there you have it, the incredible reward, the very real costs, and a clear blueprint for success. It is a demanding journey, no doubt about it, but it's one that leads to the very top of the finance industry. You now have the complete map. The only question left is, are you ready to take that first step?